It's my pleasure this morning to commence the 2014 Tvet Apprenticeship Program Retreat. I welcome you on behalf of the Department of Education and all of the co-laborers involved in this program. At this time, I'm going to ask you to stand for the national anthem and territorial song.
Of history's pain, our ancestors bled and died, but with strength and willpower we overcame to restore Virgin Islands' pride, to preserve the beauty we devised the plan, to retain ownership of your precious land. Educating your people is the golden key to maintain the success of this territory. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied. May God richly bless this territory. May we ask three things of thee: courage for all great leaders, that they may rule our destiny. We ask for wisdom for our people, that we may live in harmony, and understanding for our children, so they may cherish this legacy. Oh, how radiant are your daughters, and how wealthy are your sons. Your beaches boast your beauty, and your success is second to none. Green and brilliant are your hillsides, they replenish our hopes and pride. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied. Oh, beautiful Virgin Islands, your qualities can never be denied.
Let us pray. Father God, we praise you for this wonderful day, the day that you have made. And thank you for placing a place that you have ordained from the beginning of time. But as we gather here as a learning community seeking to grow and develop, we pray that you will be in the midst of our gathering today, opening up our hearts, our minds, and our understanding. Be with the facilitators, those who will lead these sessions, but especially, Lord, be with the participants as they, by their presence, indicate that they are seeking to grow in a manner which is pleasing in your sight. I ask you to just continue to watch over us all. We just need to pray.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. Before I hand things over to Mrs. Brenda Hlscc, I first would like to introduce myself as your chair for today. My name is Kaiser Penn. I am the Human Resources Manager within the Department of Human Resources for Strategic Succession Planning. And again, I'll be your chair for today. There are some important protocols that we need to address before we continue, but before I do that, I would like to just share with you that each time I hear or sing the territorial song, it gives me goosebumps. I'm not sure about you guys, but it gives me goosebumps. And I'm saying that to say that it's because of this song is why we're here today. So as we go through the course of today, I want you to reminisce on the words of this song and understand the importance of it and why we're standing where we are today. I have the privilege this morning of recognizing the presence of our Honorable Minister for Education and Culture, Honorable Myron Walwyn. We also would like to recognize the presence of the Acting Assistant Secretary within the Ministry of Education and Culture, Mrs. Brenda Hlscc. We also acknowledge the presence of coordinators for this program, namely Mr. Alan Hodge and other co-laborers. I also recognize the presence of the president of our community college, our very own Dr. Carl Dawson. At this point, I'll hand over to Mrs. Hlscc, who will do the official welcomes and start us off on today's program.
A very pleasant good morning. Oh, we're getting closer. Yes. And how are you today? Fine. Wonderful. I will recognize the protocol as established by Ms. Penn. Today you are here as you take another step in your journey towards becoming better young men and women in our territory. We commend you for finding or recognizing that you needed something else. You took the step, you registered. I hope you attended classes. They're not sure. You attended classes and you put yourself in a position to better your position in our territory. You are our future, and we are very pleased to have you here this morning. We welcome you to the second, I think, Tvet retreat. Now, the Tvet program has been in existence since 2006, and the objectives are to heighten the level of technical skills in the territory, to increase college enrollment, to promote long-term employment on sound career paths, and to enhance entrepreneurship in the manufacturing and services industries. You have been studying courses in plumbing, house wiring, computer and office skills, small engine repair, refrigeration and air conditioning, culinary, hotel and restaurant skills. And today we are here to prepare you for your internship. We are here to offer you some advice and mostly encouragement. We're encouraging you to go out there and literally blow them away. You are going to take whatever you have learned, right, and apply it in your workplace. You're only there for a month, but you have the capacity to show them all you have learned. You have the capacity to shine. You have the capacity to make them want to keep you at the end of that month. Right? You know, no, ma'am. Right? Okay, we're getting somewhere. Now, I welcome all of you to today's retreat. It's going to be an information-filled, it's going to be interactive, and I think that at the end of the day, you all will say, I was glad that I was here. So once again, welcome to the 2014 Tvet retreat and have a fantastic day. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Hlscc, for your welcome. At this point, we'll welcome to the podium Dr. Carl Dawson, who will give brief remarks.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Penn. Good morning to all. I acknowledge the protocol that has been established, but would specifically like to say a special welcome to our Minister, Honorable Myron Walwin, and also to recognize our Dean of Workforce Training, Dr. Derry Hodge, under whose area this particular program falls, as well as other supporters, Mrs. Janice Dawson and others who help to coordinate the program. It's my pleasure to be able to give just a little bit of a brief word to you as you prepare to go on your internship. But even before I do that, I'm going to ask permission of the chair to divert just a minute and ask that the person who is in charge of the ceremony today, as well as the graduation when that comes, I'd like to nominate Ms. Luann France. As I sat here and listened as we sang the territorial song, I think I heard your voice, Ms. France, coming out very loud, very clear, very beautifully. So I'd like the organizers to please note that among the class, it seems like we have class, world class, singing talent. So I would suggest that we consider Ms. France for singing one of those items when the time comes. I single out Ms. France, but I want to make sure that each one of you realize the importance of yourself. There's a phenomenon, there's a thing that's happening in our world where people feel that one person doesn't make a difference. That somehow, if all of us are in a group, if I show up, it's all right. If I don't show up, it doesn't matter, the others will come. Because somehow, me, as an individual, doesn't make a difference. There's nothing unique, there's nothing special that I bring to the table. So that if I'm not there, it's all right. If we were fixing a car and I'm not there, that somehow they're going to get it done. If we were preparing for a catering event and I'm not there, somehow it will happen anyhow. If there was an office project and I'm not there, somehow it's going to get done. But I would like you to get that thought out of your minds. Because each one of you are unique and created in a special way. And we need, this world, this territory needs each one of you and the things that each and every one of you particularly bring to the table. So where we are, I would say that this is it. Now this is it. When we started here last year, at the start of this program, we were on a trek and a journey to a point, and I would say this is it. The point at which we are now able to launch you into the workplace. Because this program was about developing skills to make you successful, skills and attitudes I would add, that would make you successful in the workplace. The skills that you have acquired over the last several months will now be put to the test. This is where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Various organizations have agreed to take you in and join them with them for this period. And we are grateful to those organizations for doing so, and I think you should be grateful to those organizations too, and act in that way when you are there. You know, when a new employee enters the workplace, there's a need and there's time that's required for orientation and training, and during that time, productivity may not be high because you have to spend time training that individual. But for many organizations, they say, well, you know what, it's all right. I expect to have this person with me for a few years. So if I put in this time early on, later on it will benefit me. But when you are on this attachment, it's only for a short period. So it means that there's not a long time for the organization to benefit from your presence. So the advice given by the assistant secretary that we ought to hit the ground running, that we ought to hit the ground being highly productive from the very start in order for that organization to feel that it was beneficial. They're not only simply doing a service by helping students and helping the ministry and the college, but they also did themselves a service because they had somebody on board who brought value and added something to their organization. That is the mindset that I would like you to take as you go into the workplace. Many of these organizations have accepted students in the past, and the reason they have accepted you was because of the performance of those students. So I'd like to suggest to you that I want you to perform in a way so that next year, when we ask the question as to whether or not they can take a student, they will say, well, last year we had one, that one was so great, let's give us two this time, please, because of your performance, because of how you acted, because of the productivity and value that you brought to the organization. You must leave a mark that want them to continue accepting students in the future, a positive mark. Now, when you go to the workplace, you will be, once you perform well, they will look at the skills that you bring. But the key thing, and I will sit, I have right here on my right hand one of a leading businessmen. Don't mind he's a minister, he's a leading businessman long before he was a minister. One of the key things that employers are looking for in the workplace is attitude. Your skills are going to be good, but employers are willing to say, you know what, I will teach the person with the right attitude the skills that they need, if that person has the right attitude. So I want you to bear that in mind. So what is this right attitude? How do we see it? It might be being on time. Be ready and willing to work. Not arrive at 8, gradually get into it, go down the road, get something to eat, check your email on your phone. No, arrive at a time ready to work. Do all your preparation beforehand and arrive on the job ready to work. You have to be serious about your work. Follow rules for safety. Some of you may be involved in areas that may be dangerous, and you must follow the safety rules and as well as the other rules for the organization. Be willing to listen, treat co-workers and customers with courtesy and respect. Be willing to learn and go the extra mile. Things are tough in the BVI right now, and this attachment could be the door to a brighter future for you. It's open now, the opportunity is there, you have to make sure to take hold of it. Do not waste this opportunity. And remember that you are representing this program under the auspices of the ministry. You are representing the college, and I want you to make yourself proud, but I also would like you to make me and the college community and the ministry proud because of your performance. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to the wonderful stories from you as well as your supervisors in the workplace about the time that you spent with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Dawson, for your encouraging and motivating words. I'm going to now welcome to the podium our Honorable Minister for Education and Culture, who often speaks about nation building. The words he will share with you this morning, I promise, will encourage you as well as motivate you. Honorable Minister for Education and Culture.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I thank you very much for your kind words, Ms. Penn. I hope I don't disappoint you this morning. I'd like to start off first by saying to you, you look wonderful this morning. Give yourselves a round of applause. You look ready for work. I want to also thank, and I ask you to thank them as well by a round of applause, the persons who are responsible for having you here today. The persons from the Ministry of Education and Culture, Mr. Hodge, your Dean of Workforce Training here, Dr. Hodge, and all the other persons, the President of the college, and all those other persons who were instrumental in getting through this program. I ask you to give them a round of applause this morning. I want to ask you again to give a round of applause. They'll see it on television. All those businesses that worked along with us, because the reality of the matter is the program couldn't be as successful as it has been if it wasn't for the business community agreeing to take on you so that you can get additional training in your craft. Give them a round of applause. We thank the businesses very much for what they continue to do. I'm very happy for you this morning. Very happy for all of you this morning. You came here to this program for many different reasons, but regardless of the reason, you have made it this far, and we're all very proud of you. I want to say to you, and I want you to remember something, one word when you go out, not just today, but in your life. That word, excellence. Excellence. And the motto for the Ministry of Education and Culture is creating a culture of excellence in everything that we do. I want you to remember that word, excellence, because it will take you where you need to go. It's a difficult time now in the workplace. It's a difficult time right now, not just for young people, but for older persons as well. Not just in the BVI, Dr. Dawson, indeed in the entire world. There's something that I like to say, there's a new premium on competence. What I mean by that, good doesn't cut it anymore. You have to be excellent at what you do. And that is what I want you to take away with you today. When you get to the job, as Dr. Dawson said, those attributes, attitude, the simple little things that we take for granted, coming to work on time, coming well dressed, adding value to the organization that you go to, because you can't just go on the job and just be there. An employer needs something. You must add value. There must be a purpose for you being there. And the purpose just can't be that I want money. I come to work because I want money. That cannot be the reason. You will come to work because, yes, you want money, but you want to improve your skills so that you can get from point A to point B. But the employer, on the other hand, is looking for somebody who can add value to his business. At the end of the day, if his business is not profitable, then why are you in business? You have to add that value to your employer's business. You have to come with an attitude that you want to learn. Years ago, an elderly person said to me when I was starting off very early in my business career, don't chase after money. Do not chase after money. The money will come. Learn your craft first. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is, you learn that first, and if you are excellent, if you do well, the money will follow you. Customers will come after you, particularly in a small community where the word gets around that Tom Jones or Mary Jane is the best electrician you can find in Tortola. People will come to you. So you take the time and you learn your craft first before you follow money. Now, I see the course speaks about opportunities for employment. I'm sure there'll be a sequel where they'll speak to you about being employers as well. Because ultimately that is what should be at the back of your minds, because we need people like yourselves. A trade business is one of the quickest ways to become a business, because you have the skills to make it a business. And so when you go to the job for someone, you operate as if it is your own business, because it is. You use that person's business as your training ground for when you start your own business. I'm telling you this because I did it. I did it back in 1995, 96. When I moved back to the Virgin Islands in 95 and 96, I moved back here with $1,000 in my pocket. $1,000 in my pocket. And in 3 years, I operated several businesses. I perhaps can't do that now because the environment has changed. It'll be a lot more difficult now because you're dealing now with customers who are a bit more sophisticated and who are a bit more demanding. So the level of skills that I perhaps had at that time, if I were to transpose that into today, it may not be enough. But what I did, because I know that I didn't have any money, and I didn't come from a rich family, I had to learn on somebody else's job. So when I got to work, I operated as if I was the owner. And many of the employees would curse me and say, you operating like it's your place. But I knew what my plan was at the back of my mind. I had to perfect my skills on that person's job because I can't afford to make errors on my job, in my business, because one mistake could destroy my business. So let me learn all that I can at your business. Let me make all the mistakes at your business. Not deliberate mistakes, but mistakes for growth. So that when I get to that point where I decide I want to have my own business, I would have learned everything on your business. And so I would take all the knowledge that I acquired on your business and start my own. And that is the attitude I want you to take with you when you go to the jobs that you're going to go to. I want you to also, when you consider being entrepreneurs and business persons, we have a tendency in the Virgin Islands to always want to do everything on our own. And the world is changing. If you look on the TV all the time, you see there are always different mergers between different companies in the United States. They're merging for various reasons. Ultimately, of course, they want a greater market share, but they're also sharing resources. There might be one business that can do something better than the other one in a different area. And so we come together, pool our expertise so that we can do a better job and deliver a better product to our customers. That is a thinking that I want you to also have. Who did electrical wiring? Good. What about AC repair? Plumbing? And all the different things. Many of you did many different things, all of which are services needed in the community. You know each other well. Many of you, you spent almost a year together. And you knew some of yourselves, some of you knew each other before you even came into this room this morning or before you started the program. The point that I'm making, join together and form businesses. Join together. You can have an electrician, you can have an AC technician, and a plumber coming together and forming a business in the Virgin Islands. And be the best that you can be, so whenever in the minds, whenever people think about plumbing needs, or electrical needs, or air conditioning needs, they can go to ABC, whatever the name of the company is, and provide those services. And don't depend on the government. There is a growing trend of dependency on the government, not because I'm in this government. I might be out the next time. It's a matter for you to decide what you want to do. But do not depend on the government to make your business work or to make anything work for you. You have got to get up and get on with it. And you do it yourself. There's a lot of good, solid work in the private sector. And so I want you to look into that as well. Don't come to the government when you're finished and say, man, I sit down here, things so bad, man, give me a little job. The country has changed. The country has changed. And so we have to change with the country. And you have a good start this morning. You had good practice. You had good teaching. You come from good family. You come from good stock. So we expect very good things and excellent things from you in the future. I wish you all the best. I love each and every one of you, because my job is to make sure that we secure the future of the Virgin Islands for you, the young people, in every way that we can. And this is an example of us doing our part as the government to help you. Now is your chance to do your part to help yourselves and to help your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Walwyn, for not disappointing me this morning and for definitely delivering profound words of encouragement and motivation. From the Honorable Minister's speech, we're going to have some buzzwords for today. Excellence is one of them. We're going to speak throughout the course of today about excellence and as well as entrepreneurship. So I want you to hold those words as well in the back of your mind as we proceed throughout today. At this point, we've come to the end of our official opening ceremony. The format of the day will change a bit. I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm very excited about what will happen here today. And we look forward to getting on with it, as the minister said, as we go through today's proceedings.